The defendant missed several previous court dates. She would be set. There was a P exam set. She didn't show up. She'd get arrested. And then she'd postpone, and then she wouldn't show up, and then she'd get arrested again. Eventually, there's a consequence for your obnoxious drunken behavior at 3 o'clock in the morning. Shayna Marie Hill. You got charged with assault with a dangerous weapon, sometimes known as felonious assault. That's a felony. That's why they call it felonious assault.
But he punched me.
Okay. It's punishable by up to 4 years in prison.
Oh, I know it's serious, sir.
And they also charge you with resisting, obstructing police officers. So let's take a look at this.
Just trying to explain my side. 2 days later, he strangled my 18-year-old.
All right, well, I'm not defending.
It's my brother, my only biological brother.
Well, because this is a felony, I don't have jurisdiction to take your plea. But let's see.
I have filed charges against him, and so has my daughter. And I had a witness too.
Thomas Lee Hill.
Yeah.
Pneumatic chisel inside a sock.
What?
Did make an assault upon Thomas Lee Hill with a dangerous weapon, a pneumatic chisel inside a sock. Now, I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, that's.
But they call that a dangerous weapon.
Yeah, he's the one that's been in jails and stuff.
All right. Now, this happened allegedly in the city of Three Rivers. You still live in Kalamazoo?
Yes. I went out there because my daughter's been staying there since she was 16, and come to find out she's been worked hard. She's the only one paying a 41-year-old's bill. He hasn't had a job since 15.
That's his father?
Niece, his niece. She was bullied in Kalamazoo. So we tried to she's got a lot of bad memories because her grandpa that helped raise her passed away. So she went there to just better herself and get away from the school. I had no problem with it. She's been there, and I guess since she's been 16, she's been paying all the bills, and he's been taking every check. He's 41. He hasn't worked.
All right. Well,
he's very narcissistic and very abusive, and she's just degraded and treated like crap.
All right. Well,
I went out there to talk to him.
But this is you. I'm going to point.
Yeah, I went out there to speak with him about it.
Set a pre-exam conference for June 18th at 8:30, and a preliminary examination if needed for June 25th.
Anything, because I pressed charges when I came back into town to rescue my daughter. And
so you pressed charges on Thomas Hill?
Yep. And the day I came here.
Where? In Kalamazoo or Three Rivers? Three
Rivers. The day I came to pick her up, because she's like, Mom, I just need help. Come help me. And I got here, and then come to find out he strangled her on top of her on her bed because she was trying to pack her stuff and leave because he's been doing this to her.
Okay. Anyway, we got a lawyer for you. So you go out to the counter. They'll give you the next hearing date is June 18th at 8:30.
Do you have and I can write
They're going to take you out and give you the paperwork.
Thank you.
All right.
Is this for you guys?
Yes, it is. I'll attach that to that. All right. Thanks. Take her out and put that with that, and she's good to go.
Can I pay my ticket here, or do I have to go somewhere?
No, you can pay it out here too. That'll be good too.
Several months later.
Good morning, Miss Hines. You don't have too many. What have you got for me?
I just have Shania Hill, and she's in her plea. Shania. I was trying to think.
Go ahead and have a seat. You'll be more comfortable.
Say it again for me. Like Tanya, Shania. Okay. All right.
We have a lot to do this morning, and that's all right. We might as well utilize our last day of the year. This is file number 24926FY, People versus Shania Marie Hill. Ms. Hill is alleged to have assaulted Thomas Lee Hill with a dangerous weapon, to wit, a pneumatic chisel. I don't know, I'd want to get assaulted with a pneumatic chisel, but that's what the charge is. then resisting and obstructing as a fourth habitual offender. This is, as I said, is alleged to have occurred on May 25th of 2024. So quite a bit of time has passed between when it was authorized and when you actually got here.
She's been here a couple times.
Yes, she was here in May. Then we had a PEC. It was set for prelim. She didn't show up, and Judge Pattison issued a bench warrant.
I was in jail. I got arrested on the way here.
Right.
Your bonding company revoked your bond. Anyway, a bunch of stuff all through the summer, and you're here now, and you posted a $15,000 surety bond in December. So what's the plea offer here, Mr. Robert?
The offer is for her to plead to 1 count of attempt RNO.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right.
What do I vouch
All right, Miss Hill. They would agree to dismiss everything. The habitual, the felonious assault, the resisting, obstructing, for a plea to a misdemeanor charge of attempting to resist or obstruct a police officer. Resisting and obstructing was an old-fashioned high court misdemeanor punishable by up to 2 years imprisonment. They made it a 2-year felony a few years ago. If you take an attempt of that, it makes it a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 1 year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. Do you understand the charge?
Yeah.
All right, and for you and for anybody else that's here that may enter a plea today, do you understand that if you do plead to this charge, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury? There will be no trial. Do you understand that? If you had a trial, you'd have a right to have an attorney with you. Ms. Hines is here. You could also hire an attorney of your own choosing if you wished. If you had a trial, you'd have a right to take the witness stand yourself and testify on your own behalf, but you don't have to because you have a right not to testify. And if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury could not hold your silence against you, and you have the right to be presumed innocent, lest the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. So originally, when this was charged over the weekend, Prosecutor Marvin just charged the assault. Then as they looked into it further, they charged this resisting, obstructing. So what happened? Did you get into some sort of scuffle with the officers?
I was trying to explain that he jumped out of the house and punched me. I didn't know about the burglary or anything that he had said till after the fact when I heard the police report. I was on his porch. My child was inside. She's 18. She was here the
Now,
last time.
who is Thomas Hill to you?
My only blood brother.
Okay, it's your brother. All right.
I tried to stay away from him my whole life. He's no good. And like, I went out there to confront him because he's on methadone and stuff like that. He's wasted space. And I would let my daughter live there because the school bullying, and he worked her for 2 years and made her pay all his bills. And I found out about it. He's 41. So I went out there to talk to him, and when I was yelling at him from the outside, I was like, come out here, and a few choice words of what I thought he was. And he opened the front door and punched me in my face and went back in. And next thing I know, the cops are there. My daughter was right there by the doorway where she sleeps. And last time we were in court here, my attorney asked her, did she ever go in the house? And she's like, no, I could hear my mom. That's what woke me up, because my daughter was working. And she woke up because she heard us yelling back and forth. And I never went in the house. Like, he literally had the screen door closed when he was yelling at me, and he opened it, punched me, and then slammed the door. And like,
What happened when the police got there?
yeah, I just pretty much was telling him, like, I'm the one that just got hit. Like, this knot on my forehead can show that. And they're like, well, he's got a knot, and that's when pretty much the whole
Well, I
argument.
said it, you had something in a sock and you.
I
hit him
didn't have
with-
any, that's the thing, like, I don't even know what the thing is, the pneumatic, I don't even know what you call it, chisel of some sort, I don't even know what that is.
Okay,
And I work with everything you made, I don't even know what that is though.
all right. Well, so anyway, the police get there.
And they wouldn't hear me out, like, I don't know, and at that point, I didn't know what he had said to them, I just know the cops were there, and I just kept trying to tell him, like, I didn't hit him, like,
So you show up uninvited at his house.
because my daughter lives there.
All right, well, to tell him what you thought of him. And
I
so
was
you-
trying to get my daughter.
Well, apparently.
I think like throughout the whole thing when I was trying to explain myself to him and I was upset and was resisting getting into the.
Had you been drinking?
Yes.
That'll do it.
Yep, it gave me the oomph to speak my mind when I normally don't. Yeah,
Well-
pretty good in life.
Ron White, the comedian, says, I had the right to remain silent. I did not have the ability.
He was
Sometimes
definitely
the
right about
best thing
that
to do is
sometimes.
shut up, but I can't. There's a whole bunch I don't know here. There's no booking bond conditions. There's no booking form. I don't have any facts. I don't know if they gave you a PBT at the jail. I don't know how he feels about it.
I think they just threw me in there pretty much.
There's nothing in the police report that they gave her a PBT or.
Sometimes you can see it in the jail booking thing, or they'll
Yeah,
put question
They just
marks.
pretty much put me in.
Anyway, the point I'm making, I'm gonna need more information before I can do the sentence. Your bonding company revoked your bond at one point.
Roger pulled himself off of it. He was upset with me.
Well, he said you were a quote unquote hot mess. I'm not sure what that's about. What do you do now, Miss Hill?
What do you mean, what I do? I'm disabled.
All right. Do you still live at Renberry?
That is my address, yes.
Is your daughter still there?
My daughter, a week after this, right after I got out of jail, she called me crying and said, Mom, come help me. And I got here and she had hand marks around her neck. My brother had jumped on top of her and choked her because.
Well,
she-
is she still
could-
there?
No, when I came to get her, that's when I found out she went right back with me and she's at Renberry.
All right.
She's doing really well, working full time and loving life. It was just the bullying in Kalamazoo why she went there to try school out here. Just get away from the kids. I got 5 girls. I don't.
All right, let's look at 2025. What we've got available for
We have this
sentencing
one for our
dates.
special this too. We don't need to do. Oh, I thought that was.
Lori, you often take much of the winter off as
No, I
vacation.
don't. Come on, Your Honor. I'm
That's
working
unfair.
hard.
She takes most of the summer off too.
No, I know. You guys, I do not either. Look at my calendar. I'm here today. And after December of 2025, I won't be here at
All right,
all.
well, we
So
better
there
get
you
it before
go.
then.
That's right, I'm here now.
How
Same
about
in the-
Wednesday, January 15th at 10:30?
So look at that. I have a free morning.
All right, very good.
That's Tommy's birthday.
She'll
At
push back the
10:30.
flight.
She also has a busy domestic practice. which
There you
also-
have it. That's it. That's a
Cause-
lot of it. Is my family law cases, you guys. January 15th at 10:30.
Yes.
All right, there you go.
All right, Miss Hill, I'm gonna get the police report and figure out what's what. Are you on probation or parole anywhere?
Just the bond.
All right, but you're not on probation or
No.
anything in Kalamazoo?
No, I haven't been in trouble in a long time after I had my girls. Like, kind of
Alright.
switched over. Don't have time to do too much.
Well, weren't we just told that she wasn't here because she was in custody in Kalamazoo?
Yeah, and was released right away. I was on my way here.
Yeah, but why were you in custody in Kalamazoo?
We were on our way here and
Well, so do you have a charge pending in Kalamazoo?
just a recent one, yeah, because I ran from, I had a warrant because of this and decided to run from that.
No, well, that wasn't.
I didn't want
a
to
good
get-
choice, so we'll find out about
This whole
that
thing,
too.
I've chose to do the wrong thing, don't. I don't want to be locked up. I'm the one that got punched.
And Rhonda Ives was her initial attorney, so we got off on the wrong foot this morning because I didn't understand that Rhonda had already met with her. She had done some extensive work,
I'm
so.
not sure what happened, but the
Yeah,
mystery,
both the people were here last time around, it was like, no. And she's like asked them the questions, had them statements, everything like that, and.
all right, we'll address this on January 15th at 10:30.
So you need to do that here, Jim.
Need to check on the Kalamazoo charge.
And then
What is this for?
this is where sentencing for your.
Oh. Yeah, this is just saying that right here, right?
All right, Ms. Hill, I'll see you
Thank
on
you.
Wednesday
Sorry
morning,
for listening.
January 15th.
2 weeks later.
Ms. Hill, are you ready to go?
Yeah, whatever.
All right, I didn't know you guys were finished.
She's just.
All right,
giving me
well,
a
let's
rundown.
call the case. We're about 25 minutes late. We got backed up by our previous zoning enforcement matter. This is file number 24926 FY, People versus Shania Marie Hill. Ms. Hill was charged with assault with a dangerous weapon for allegedly hitting her brother in the head with a sock with a heavy object in it, and then resisting and obstructing the police officers. The matter was reduced to attempting to resist or obstruct a police officer. And the matter was set for a sentence today. The defendant missed several previous court dates. She would be set. There was a P exam set. She didn't show up. She'd get arrested. And then she'd postpone, and then she wouldn't show up, and then she'd get arrested again. And then here we are. So I did get the police report, which was eye-opening. The defendant had been in the Kalamazoo County Jail and was out. She got arrested again in December. Between the time we took this plea and now,
What we just.
let me see what, there was a date of the plea, December 30th. I guess that was earlier in December. So the police report is bad. When I took your plea, you wandered and you gave me this long story about your daughter was at your brother's and you came down there and you thought he was doing stuff with her, but yet you let her live there or placed her there for 2 years.
He was taking our money.
You thought he was taking her money. Then they talked to her. She said she'd rather live there. Anyway, he did provide a brief victim statement, which I'll address.
She's lived with me since he assaulted her right after I first got out and filed my police report. He choked her.
All right. Anyway, then you were absolute horse's ass to the police. And here we are. Ms. Hines, what would you like me to know?
Yeah, this was in May of 24. Rhonda Ives was her initial attorney and had did some discussion with a couple witnesses. Shane and I got off the wrong foot because I didn't realize that the case went back that far. I didn't get any background information from Rhonda Ives, so we had to make up a lot of ground on the day we were here in December. My client was adamant that she did not hit her brother, that her brother had hit her. She was honest with the court. She explained that. That's why the assault with a dangerous weapon was dropped, and she did admit freely that she did kick the police officer, and she was pretty difficult with them. I did watch the body cam. I think she's had kind of a rough life. Her daughter was there. Her daughter's now was back living in Kalamazoo when we entered the plea. She's disabled. She did tell me this morning she's made arrangements at the Gilmore Center to do some inpatient work there. It sounds like she might.
I never thought I would say this, but I can't hear you very well.
It sounds like she has some substance abuse issues. She did admit to drinking that night. Sounds like she's just had a rough life. She's got 5 children. I learned that. So it sounds like she's got neglect and abuse or had neglect and abuse charges. So I don't think anything's been really easy for Miss Hill. So I know that she wants to go ahead with the Gilmore Center. She does have pending charges in Kalamazoo County, but she doesn't have the paperwork to tell me what those are. So obviously she has that to deal with. I guess we would just be asking for fines and costs. She did serve some jail time. She has Kalamazoo County jail time, and unfortunately, it's taken a while for this to get here, but I'm glad I've now been appointed and I've been able to straighten things out for her. So it's been kind of a mess. So that's what we're asking.
All right,
Thanks,
according to what I got from the Kalamazoo County Sheriff's Department, her charges were assault and battery, resisting a police officer, driving suspended, and resisting a police officer. Those occurred on December 13th of 2024. She did mention that she had been charged with something in Kalamazoo, but we weren't clear.
Right,
I
and
think
I
it
wasn't clear of that
I
either.
think those cases are still pending in Kalamazoo County.
Right,
Scheduled it out for, after a month in the treatment center, which I was waiting for today. After pushed it back since that's.
All right, Mr.
Okay.
Gabriel, you've been here now about 10 days, so you inherited this case also. Do you have any input here?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I guess I appreciate you looking into what was going on in Kalamazoo, and what immediately pops in my mind is wondering what the defendant's state of mind was at this particular point in time. When I initially read some of the police report up to a point, I thought, well, this is a lot like what in the old days we would call a drunk and disorderly. And then I saw the kick to the police officer. And to me, that raises this to the kind of level that it deserves to be here. I would read one note, kind of in response to defense counsel's last comment from our thought process. The court's well aware of some of the sentencing directives that have come down that affect the circuit court and what they can and can't do with particular cases. And it was the opinion of the office at the time, prior to my arrival, that a plea before you could give her the potential for more sanctions and more help than might be received if the case went up to circuit court. This case kind of arises to the level where it's too bad she didn't get it taken care of right away, because I probably wouldn't have read a lot of the notes that I've read. The issue here between her and her brother that seemed to be fueled by her own alcoholic, intoxicated paranoia about her daughter. The officer talks to the daughter, there's no problems, but then a few months later, let's see, July 15th, the next thing you know, we have a warrant, or this office issues a warrant against the brother for assault on the daughter. That warrant is still open. And that was another factor that resulted in that office, Mr. Marvin's office, not pursuing the felonious assault. So my hope for the court is realizing that this client has been very difficult, is we can try to help, court can try to help, or the court can put her in jail as a punishment for what she did, and hope she gets help on her own. But fines and costs just seems like we're asking for something you're never going to see.
Ms. Hill, I'll give you the last word. What would you like me to know?
I've lost everything these last 2 years. And looking back, I just tried to make excuses for everything. It's this CPS, it's something. And I've stomped my feet and, yelled long enough, and I need to shit or get off the pot, and I've died 4 times this last year, and I'm tired.
What are you struggling with? Opioids or methamphetamine?
Alcohol.
Okay.
And I'm just, to the point where I'm either gonna kill myself or change, and that's why the treatment was set up for the following week or the past week, but I can't leave to come to court and stuff like that. You can't leave for it. My daughter, even with the assault charges there, she just said, "Mom, I just want my mom back." I'm like, well, saying crap like I did something isn't cool, but I understand she just wants her mom back. And after the treatment, it's like it's like 5 days detox, something, and then it's like 14 days in, and then it's a 90-day sober living, and then there's another program after that. I've lost my house, all 5 kids. I don't have anything left. I just want to start over. I moved out of Kalamazoo because that is nothing good for me there. It took 20 years of just
Where do you live now?
Hartford.
Okay.
And Kalamazoo is supposed to do like a global or whatever it's called, where they put all the charges together, and they're gonna see how I'm doing after like a month.
So do you have charges in Van Buren County also?
This is the only one besides Kalamazoo,
Okay,
and they're supposed to do probation, I think there.
well, I think that may be the thought.
Yeah. That's what they were saying with the prosecutor and them last time, so they just wanted to make sure I got into the treatment and started, and today was the last thing I had. I got the meds and everything, so.
All right,
I'm too old.
yes. You do have a lot of baggage. At the time this happened, which by the way was 3 o'clock in the morning. May the 25th was at that time it was a Friday night into a Saturday morning.
Shortly after
So-
my daughter
so-
turned 18.
You didn't just show up there and want to have a discussion. He said you hit him in the head with a sock with a piece of
I honestly,
pneumatic chisel.
I was
which-
upset with him, and I honestly
Yeah,
went there
so
to beat his
you were-
ass, and I didn't. He punched me and slammed the door. Like me and my brother.
So I
I
don't
was raised
blame
like
him.
a
It's
boy.
3 o'clock in the morning. You're bashing on the side of the trailer. You're pounding on the trailer. You're pounding on the door. He opens the door. You hit him with this thing in the head. Now, maybe he hit you first, but then you hit him.
I never hit
And
him. I would admit to it, sir.
all right, well, he claims you did, and they found the instrument. You're drunk. This is in a trailer park. As Mr. Gabriel said, drunk and disorderly, to be sure. Then apparently he got charged with you, but hasn't been arrested yet. And so they decided they weren't gonna pursue the assault part, just the cop part. So the police show up. You got a previous resisting and obstructing conviction out of Kalamazoo. You're on bond for resisting and obstructing from December 13th, or excuse me. You got arrested again for resisting and obstructing in Kalamazoo while you're on bond for here for resisting and obstructing. And the only reason this case is so old is that you continually failed to appear for your hearings when you were supposed to. We kept bonding you out. The first one was a surety bond, and your surety company called on after you failed to appear.
I had a lot of problems with the man that bonded me out. And
Well,
he
then,
pulled the bond.
Yes, he called and
we got
said
it,
she is a quote unquote hot mess. And then he pulled the bond. And
Bonded
then
me out every time.
I think you spent the 25th and you got out on the 26th the first time. Then you got picked up again on the 11th, and the 10th of July. You did 2 days there. Then you failed to appear again. You got arrested on December
On my way here.
17th and you posted bond on the 18th. So you've done a total of 4 days in jail.
Oh, it's more than that.
Since you got arrested on December 17th, and that may have been, did they bring you down here from Kalamazoo?
Yeah, it was like a whole week this last
All
time.
right, so you were in Kalamazoo from the 13th, and then they brought you here on the 17th. And I gave you a bond on the 18th. So you got 4 St. Joseph County credit days.
It was more than that.
The police officers tried to give you a breath test, which you didn't have to take it. It wasn't a driving case, but you wouldn't. They were just trying to determine how intoxicated you were. And you didn't cooperate with that. Your brother says serious need for rehab for drugs and alcohol. I love my sister, but she needs help.
He's never let me out of country.
Due to the minimum allowable fine of $125. I'm gonna order 34 days in jail, credit 30, or credit 4. You're gonna do 30 days in jail starting right now.
What?
Yeah, you're going to jail. Eventually, there's a
And I'm going
consequence.
to
You're
treatment
going
for
to
30 days.
jail. If you'd like to go for longer, we could discuss it further. You're getting 30 days in jail for your obnoxious drunken behavior at 3 o'clock in the morning where you kick some 3 of us police officers. You failed to appear on 3 previous occasions. You have a previous conviction for resisting and obstructing a police officer. And while you were on bond AWOL from our case, you got arrested again for resisting, obstructing, and assault in Kalamazoo. So you're not
The
in
one was
Kalamazoo,
from a
you're in
long time
Centerville, so you're going to jail for 30 days. 125 days or 2 additional days.
I'm in the middle
jail.
of getting my meds and stuff.
Hey, well, you're going to jail. That's what happens when you get sentenced. There's a consequence.
I thought that we didn't, I thought we had a whole agreement thing.
We did not have an agreement. You're going to jail, which you've earned. If you'd like to earn some more, we can discuss it. I'd like you to just quietly go with the officer. You'll get some good time. You'll be out
Can
in
you let them
25
know?
days and you can start your
Is
probation
the
in
phone number? Can you
Kalamazoo.
call the phone number?
Where's the car?
I don't even know if this, I walked. It's got a dent on the door.
We'll tell your friend.
My home passport, so they can give my friend his car back.
It's 30 days, 34 days jail, credit 4, no probation. I waived all the fines and costs,
I
including
have
attorney
work there
fees,
too, how can we let
except
them
the
know?
minimum fee of $125, which should be paid before your release or 2 additional days.
My kids is.
If you guys want to have further discussion, you can do it in the back. I don't want to do it here on the live feed, and I don't have
Sorry.
another case to do.